Okay, and welcome back. We're picking up where we left off last time in Field of Glory Empires as Persia. Um, there's been an interruption in going up onto YouTube because there's been an interruption in getting recorded for Twitch. The source of that problem was effectively the modem dying. So now that the modem has been replaced, that hopefully won't be a problem. It took a couple days to do that, so this is the first recording since I think the last Shadow Empire stream. Which has been a couple days. At this point, that means if you're watching this on YouTube, this will be the first episode after a short break. If you're watching this on Twitch, this will actually be, I think, the first stream where I technically have Twitch affiliate status, so there may be ads that play on this video. So if you're watching on YouTube and hear me commenting about ads, that might be where that's coming from. Remembering where we are in this game, looks like we're probably in a state where we could pick a fight with Egypt soon. Right, we've got an army positioned over here. We've got two armies positioned over here. So basically we're just waiting. See what happens with our northern border. If we can secure stability in the northern border, we'll probably pick a fight with Egypt. Legacy-wise, we, I think, left off in first place, yes. So not enough to win by sort of the runaway with it victory status, which is you have tripled the legacy points of the person behind you. So we're basically in the state where the game's like, oh, well, the other guy could catch up. The other person's not going to catch up. We're far ahead. So we're sort of just playing out the victory here. We will win in 100-ish turns at the current rate. I don't know if this scenario actually allows an early victory by tripling someone. We'll sort of see if we can do that. So, looks like by event we got given a close fighter in our capital region. We have an existing army here in the west, and we have an existing cavalry army over here as well. If we're going to go fight Egypt, that's probably what we need, is those two armies. We have a third one here that has, well, I was about to say has been damaged. It hasn't really been damaged. So this army can probably, given the opportunity, to pull out and come south, although it's being hindered at the moment due to blizzards in the Carpathians. We also have was in the middle of trying to acquire a peace treaty with various people in the north, so I think Scythia declared on us. Everything goes according to plan. What we'll do is we'll presumably negotiate a peace with them, and then probably hand over the territory we just lost, or just gained from them, over to Colchis to give us a nice, steady northern border. We're also in the process of maybe trying to do some sort of negotiating like that in the south. So I don't think there's any real orders to go about doing, so let's get around to the provinces. Starting off here, we do want more food. The quant isn't a bad thing to do, and apparently here we'll provide some food. So we'll grab that and then actually finish the turn. Couple of slots here. Warehouse is tempting. Quant is tempting. Quant is a 0 slot. We got 2 open slots here. I think I'll go with the Quant. We don't have anything forcing us to go a particular way. Okay, so I can definitely do the Quant. Because of that, let's do the Quant. Let's take the 0 slot. I think I'm going to go school here, although Smokehouse is also tempting to do the school because it's a 0 slot. It's going to not consume the slot. So here we have enough infrastructure to have access to tier 3. That makes the warehouse in particular very interesting. Because if we get another building slot, that means we can upgrade it to its tier 3 version. I'll probably take the warehouse because of that. Although that region has another industry province or industry territory in it as well, so maybe not super strong there. Tempted to go brickworks here, although the brickworks, other than it being a good tier 1 building, is not perfect. We don't need the loyalty. Yeah, we'll go works here. This is plains, of all things. We're only food positive here because we have all the people working on food right now. We got a lot of Semitic citizens here, so let's do cult site to improve the conversion rate. And we're obviously going to have to put things on infrastructure to get these built. We have a temple here, so the conversion rate should be decently high, although it's apparently only a 6% chance. Tempted to go quarry, but we've already got stone in the area, which would argue for brickworks. Let's go theater here. Although, no, let's go. I don't need the culture right now. You don't need the loyalty. I'll give and grab the quarry. And then we need to swap the province over to infrastructure if we want these things to build in a reasonable amount of time. And if there's one thing I do, it's I heavily focus on infrastructure, getting things built. Maybe a little overkill sometimes, but that's how I play this game. We got 3 open building slots in Cyrus here. Street Proller's not too bad, although we don't have Papyrus here yet. But we probably will get Papyrus here. I tend to get Papyrus everywhere. The Weaver Shop's not too bad. 26 money is pretty good. We just access to Tier 2 infrastructure, or Tier 2 commerce, which we already have with the culture. Yeah, let's pick up the Weaver Shop. Which is going to finish the turn, so I need to move people off of food. Here we got a couple places to build. Ooh. 30 money. Yes, this has a decadence cost. We have so much surplus culture, that's maybe not a problem. But 30 money because of the commerce bonus here. And this would be the 6th commerce building, allowing us to get access to Tier 3 ones, notably including the paved road. Although this is a region we can't get the paved road in specifically. Which does devalue the 6th building a little bit. No, let's still take the usual. The brickworks is tempting. Market. Moves our pottery around, getting us more money from pottery. It's got cloth, it's got salt. Leather and dye can be made locally. Yeah. And then we need some infrastructure to get these buildings done in a turn, and that's more than enough. Nothing to build there. Lots to build here. We could go sculpture. It's already... Well, we already got luxury from the neighboring territory. So the choice here to go sculpture... we literally have sculpture in the next one over. So yeah, it's probably not worth going sculpture. Literally the next one over has sculpture. I was checking to see if it was the... I think it's the jewelry shop. The jewelry shop imports a resource. So there may be an argument to go the jewelry shop over the sculpture shop if we hit him offered. Gladiator School. We don't need the loyalty, although this moves around the weapons. This is a place we recruit like Cav maybe. So the stables is a completely poor idea. What do we have as far as food choices? No farm, so they're all going to be choices like the shepherd house here, which aren't super strong. So let's go stables. Prove that military expertise. Farms. This is, as far as this territory is concerned, this is actually probably the most agriculturally centric one. So if we weren't being offered the regional road, I'd be going the farm there. This is a hill, so this is a location we can, in theory, hit the paved road. I believe. Scanning that, yeah, there's paved road in that list. So this is a place where we want to build paved road. Don't really need the tanner. I'd probably be better off importing it. You get the armor. Well, probably because we don't need the loyalty either with the noble district. Although We don't have access to the big 40 buildings that come from Tier 3, so building the Noble District to get there wouldn't be too bad. And the Culture to the Decans ratio here is pretty decent. We're probably just going the Tanner, or go the Clear-Water here. And then we need more infrastructure to get the buildings done ASAP, so let's swap things too. Okay, so that would in theory be enough to get Regional Road done in 2. I doubt we're going to get enough here to get it done in 1. Although this will pretty much lock it in being done in 1 on the next turn. Open building slot here. So we got a 0 slot in Clearwater. We got the Harbor, which would upgrade a 0 slot to a 1 slot. Based on what this body of water is, which is the Caspian, we probably don't need the Harbor here. Or at least I wouldn't prioritize it over the Clearwater. Oration Tribune is tempting. We got enough loyalty here, I'm not worried about it. Let's go Clearwater. Nothing to build there. 1 open slot here. Decent amount on infrastructure, so I wouldn't be surprised if we can just build without having to do investments. There's a training ground. I'm one to almost always build training grounds when I'm offered them. There's 0 slot military building, which helps with military expertise. You want to keep your military expertise above 1, which is 1 military building per territory. So if you can do that with a 0 slot building, that's really good. Weapons depot. Tempting to build a weapons depot here. We'd also build the market. This wouldn't be a bad market. Give us access to tier 2 commerce, although this is Alpine, so we're never going to build a paved road here. Regional is the best we're going to get. And we have plenty of infrastructure buildings. In fact, is there any infrastructure buildings worth building? The bridge and the brickworks, basically. The bridge and the brickworks. And then the brickworks, you can see, would be better if we had stone. Although I think the bridge might import stone. I don't know if the bridge imports stone. Or either that or we're going to have to... Do we have quarry here? No, because this is not hills or mountains. Hills and mountains can build quarry. Alpine cannot. Okay. Although, we can build clay pit, which is... It's sort of like... quarry, just... It's the worst quarry. It's a build anywhere quarry. So yeah, we'll probably do weapons depot here. If I needed culture, we do the scriptorum. Yeah, if I need culture, do the scriptorum. We'll build the weapons depot here to build up the military expertise. That'll finish in a turn. Everything is still going there. 2 building slots there. Everyone here is Iranian, so we don't need to do Cold Sight. Although we could do Cold Sight here and start fishing for Thassalan Temple. We're probably in range of... Yeah, we're probably in range of... Coral. Thassalan Temple is a coastal building. That's pretty good. Especially in places where you're not trying to convert people. So let's go that way. Build the Cold Sight up just to go Thassalan Temple. And we have a jewelry shop coming over here. So jewelry shop is the alternative source for luxury. Notably needs silver around. And, well, if you can get gold and stuff at the same place, that's good. So yeah, we definitely don't need sculpture shop there. In fact, we arguably don't even need the jewelry here because we're right next to the sculpture. We'll still do the jewelry. Copperwork can move copper around. That's basically the reason to build the furnace is to get the copperworks to build the copperwork around, move the copper around. Later on, we can do mint and it's coin maker into mint and bank. Although those bonus off of copper and silver and gold. Bank imports gold. The bonus is off of silver and copper. So yeah, we'll do the copperworks. That's way too much infrastructure. How much do you cost? 75. So yes, we want to put some of that away back into food. Yeah, about that much. Next, nothing to build here, so over to food. I don't know if we have enough infrastructure here to turn everything over to food. No. Although we can get pretty close. Nothing to build here. Again, that means basically everything over from infrastructure to food. This is one of the places where we want to build up a big military industry, because this is where we're going to get our mountain troops from. Although, there's a decent possibility we'll never need to replace our mountain troops. One open building slot here. Could build the ranch. I can never say no to the land expansion. We got lots of good 0 slots here. Land expansion is the biggest of them, which is actually -1 slot. Or +1 slot? Gives you extra slot. We obviously need to make some more infrastructure. Not a lot. I'm probably going to with just 2 territories on infrastructure here. Yeah. It's going. The irrigation canal will be good there. Here we're suffering from you, although we have the thing to remove you, so we're just waiting. It's just patience at this point. Palisade Crafting District. We'll grab the Crafting District here. Public Works or Large Farm. Both are very tempting. I'm going to pass on the Large Farm. We're going to grab the Public Works. Lots to build here. We're getting into the newer territories. The newer territories just have more to build. Seed storage is tempting because we have grain. And there are ways to get nuts and seeds to it. Yeah. I don't very often build seed storage, though. Warehouse. Could quickly build this up into Tier 3 infrastructure. Warehouse is definitely one of the buildings we'd want if we did that. Public Works, although the cold site's tempting as well. Here's a paved road. So that imports stone. Commerce bonus giving us 6 more money. The major bonus here that's often undersung is the trade range bonus of +2. Could definitely use more food up in the Caucasus, and especially in this new territory. We had fish and salt, maybe. I think we're gonna actually hit the reroll here. I'd be fine with the orchard. Orchard wouldn't be bad. I'd be interested in salt house, smokehouse, clear water. Even the quant wouldn't be too bad. What's the rest of some of it? In the moment. Oh, the dreaded volcano. Smokehouse. Yeah, there's malices to food production there. The health malus is just a flat malus, so you're better off. Well, you can sort of overcome it with just like extra health. Village skill will be fine. If we had more infrastructure here, it'd be good. Large wall will finish next turn, and we got you. Public Works. And then we're on to the loose ones, which is probably going to be the territory we're actually going to hand over to the friend. You want a pleasure house? Did they hit a pleasure house? No. We'll build the quant. It's done in time, though the friend can have it. Okay. Let's go ahead and cycle the turn. Okay. Go ahead and cycle the turn. Checking the regional decisions quickly before doing that cycle. Okay, so we are defending against barbarians here, which that's perfectly fine. I don't expect... These are probably the mountain men. If we didn't have support, this would actually be more of a threat. But yeah, our mountain troops are heavy infantry that have bonuses in mountains that offset their malices, which makes them really good in the mountains and makes them okay in the plains. They definitely don't compare to Immortals very well in the plains. And this unit that we've actually got here, sort of combat-wise, isn't wide enough to properly operate in the plains. So that's why I said if I didn't have enough support, that wouldn't be a good place for them to be. We had adequate support there, so that's not a problem. Plus, there wasn't enough of an enemy for it to be a problem if there wasn't adequate support. So we're enjoying being a young empire here. Our subject Judea is apparently number 2. So, culture decadence ratio, we are splendid. In fact, a little bit too good. We don't really want to be first on this list, but we are. So we can focus on other things like money. Legacy ratio, again, we're ahead of Egypt and we're gaining fast in Egypt. Long and arduous peace, we have peace with Scythia. Religious ceremony, raise loyalty. We can do a deification decree. Stia, where is that? Land unit only. Okay, so that's probably not happening. Yeah, that's probably not happening. Weeks of troubles. Places in unrest, that's fine. New objective. Telling us to go mess with the Greeks. Got a prospect for resources. We'll go poke around the provinces in a bit. 15 more turns to build roads in certain places. I'm not gonna worry too much about it. I think we're either going to have the roads or we're not in that amount of time, because it's just something I prioritize anyway. Okay, so with the bad weather banished, cross over to the port, and then the plan is to set to sea. The mountain troops are also basically doing the same. I'm thinking we want to hand over to you the territory up here. Everything that isn't in a province we want to hold. In fact, weirdly, I might want to trade with them, right? Although that would give us a border on someone else I don't want to mess with, so we'll probably just give stuff to them. It'll be very unidirectional. We want to give you, oh, not provinces, regions. Give you that place, that place, that place. One, two, three, 4, 5, 6. I'm missing a couple. Okay, so basically you're going to give them enough that in theory they could probably make the province with that. So 4, 5. Yeah, that's probably enough for them to make that province. Not enough for them to make that province, but that also removes us having a non-friendly northern border at this point. So then the question is, what can I get from them for that? If I took these two off of them, I'd be running into a problem of then we'd be up against Sarmatia, and we'd have the ability to have a non-friendly border. So we're going to keep that. This is not a treaty where I can take legacy. I can maybe ask for some money back. That was the lowest money request I could ask for. You know, I'll ask for that money anyway. 50% they say no. Of course, 50% they say no is also 50% they say yes, so. Anyway, we got a stable north border. I don't have a stable, although I got a deal pending with these guys. So let's think that was to make these guys client states. Oh, you don't like me enough. We'll give these guys one more turn. Although I might as well start the war with Egypt. So let's move forward. Push you forward. I think the peace treaty with Egypt is done, right? Yeah. So let's be at war with Egypt next turn. Oops, I'm gonna hit the X button, not question mark. let's quickly roll through our territories, and we'll advance the turn, and we'll see how the war opens up with Egypt. So here specifically, we do want the U to go away, so we're looking for the armor. We haven't hit the armor here. Probably do the large warehouse. It's going to cost us a little bit of money and a little bit of manpower, but it's 27 more infrastructure, so it's hard to pass up. And then I think we'll go the preceptor house here. I do like myself. I do like the preceptor house. I like all the papyrus buildings, to be fair. Smokehouse and you don't need to run up to tier 3 infrastructure so hard. Although the builder hole is definitely the one I'd go for. We'll do the bank here. Bank is strong. 52 money for 0.2 decadence is not that bad. And I'll direct gold down here. Everything on food has been rewarded. Could grab the quarry, although it's basically not an upgrade. Could grab the candle shop. It would get it up to tier 2 buildings, which is tempting. Yeah, I think that's the way to go there. Gonna grab that training ground. This is the region where we recruit Armenian cataphracts. So we do want the decent buildings here as far as equipment production. Equipment storage. Tempting to play Anchorage here. A 0 slot wouldn't be a bad idea. And this is the Caspian Sea. We're far enough into the game. I'm already a 3-ocean nation. So if I'm doing the decision to spawn bows out of thin air, they're going to end up where I don't want them anyway. And okay, we can build all that without having to put anyone in infrastructure. So next, one build slot here. We are being presented with a wonder. The Pythia from Delphi. Feeds drugs and herbs, which we actually coincidentally here happen to have in range. Could go with Glassworks as well, but I don't think we need glass that badly. So yeah, Pythia. 15 culture, 1 legacy, and progress token chance improved by 10%, which would help counter the fact I think we got minus 40% from our cultural trait. Although, is that is progress token. So I think our cultural trait is minus 40 token chance, both good and bad. Which explains, I think in the last Sparta game where I was like, I'm surprised that Persia wasn't declining as fast as I expected. That's because the cultural Persian trait applies both to good and bad. And as much as it reduces the good stuff, it reduces the bad stuff as well. Yeah, we'll do the courthouse. We'll go with the courthouse line there. Temple's always good, or the monument's always good. Caravan house is also really tempting here. 21 money in the commerce bonus. We'll pass. We'll come back to that. Nothing there. One build slot there. Build a quant in a turn? Sure. Clearwater's not bad. We've got the building to clear the sick animals. We're just waiting for it to clear. Brickworks isn't bad to get access to tier 2. Yeah, let's go Brickworks. Again, this is up in the mountains, the Armenian mountain area. So there's going to be no paved roads up here, but we can at least get the regional ones, which are pretty good. Amphitheater's tempting. Definitely would want a better trading post. Yeah, let's do Amphitheater. And we have enough food we can move the newly spawned people off of food onto infrastructure. Although I don't think the people currently on food are producing very much. So yeah, they're producing 2. This one's producing 2. Would be 3 times more effective making infrastructure. Amphitheater. We can swap these guys to food because we need food at this point. Open slot here and a LOM. At some point I need to take over those two independent areas. Maybe once the army from north comes back down south, we'll send them into that area. We don't need the cult site, although this is a coastal area reasonably close to Coral, so chasing the Thassalan Temple wouldn't be a bad idea. Yeah, just talk myself and chasing the Thassalan Temple. We'll grab the cult site. We need to work up the culture site anyway. I need to at least get to tier 2 culture for the loyalty get to the lore. Nothing to build here, so infrastructure food. Nothing to build there, but they're running on food. We moved you to food. Training grounds. There we go, in a turn. Regional road. Perfumery. Moving perfume around is actually a little difficult. Not a very good building, as you can see, by itself, because we don't have access to frankincense, drugs, and amber here. So I think we're going to pass on it. Right now, because it's not providing, it's providing 8 money, right? So we're paying 5 infrastructure a turn to get 8 money. It's not a good trade. Theater. Yeah, probably theater. Yeah, let's grab the theater. Try to get up to tier 3 culture. Oh, that is a decent large quarry. Let's take it. And then we'll need some infrastructure to get the quarry upgrade done in a turn. How short are we in the quarry? Ooh, that's actually quite a bit. Looks about 81 short. Oh, it's after dividing by 3. So that means that we need like 100. Well, 243 is quite a bit. Yeah, I don't think we're going to get it. We can at least lock it in so it'll finish next turn. Yeah, it'll definitely finish next turn. Irrigation Canal will probably done next turn. 2 slots there. We have the building to get rid of you. Armorer now, yeah. Yeah, it's not a bad farm. Grab that farm. Large farm. Again, that's pretty tempting. I'm gonna take the regional road because the regional road is just good. Real good. Brickworks. It's always tempting to work up to getting regional road and the land reclamation, or the land expansion. Reclamation is the tier 3 version of it. And you can do that everywhere. Whether or not you work infrastructure past that is very open to your playstyle. Orchard's tempting because it's a 10-food orchard. Brickworks is also tempting. I'm going to go Brickworks here, because again, that's going to get us access to the regional roads. We're not going to be able to get the Oasis penalty here, so we're always going to be penalized to food and infrastructure here. Brickworks. And I'll grab the Oration Tribune here. And then we need to move, well, I don't need to move. I'm going to move people off of food onto infrastructure. Looks like the building will be done next turn. We're making enough food here. I can move people off of food onto infrastructure to get the buildings actually moving. They're barely getting the buildings moving, but at least they are. A farm, again, a decent farm. Can't take a quant. We have coral in range, so 10 culture, plus if we can get fish, that's another 5 culture, and a decadence reduction. That's the other nice thing about this building. And we have no conversion on the Semitic, because the Semitic is the slave. Okay. Yeah, let's grab the Thassalan Temple. Be done in a turn. Again, this is up on the border. I do like that smokehouse. And we can move that food to infrastructure. And that's all the territory. Okay. So I'm going to do a quick run through to see if there's any places we need prospect for resources. The way I usually do that, well, the brutal way I sort of do that is just go through them all one by one on the territory thing. We're looking for province malices that can be removed right now. There's a decent possibility that I have one. Severe avalanches is not one, although severe avalanches looks like one that can be removed. That's why I stopped to check. That one can be removed, although that one is also removed by Shepherd's House, so we'll come back to that one if we don't find another one. I believe, again, you look like one, sick animals here looks like one that can be removed, although sick animals is not one of the ones that can be removed with prospect. Oh, that is one that can be removed. Again, this is like the shepherd one where the sawmill removes the forest. Also, the sawmill isn't purely negative. It does provide a little bit of culture. Volcano can't be removed. Some of these places actually have so many buildings I might technically mess it. I'm scrolling through like this, but... And can't removed. Dunes, I think, can only remove several of Oasis, yeah. Your Troglodyte Gaze. Again, this is another one that kind of looks like one of the ones you can get removed. Oh, that's one that could be removed. Oh, granted, I'm going to give this to the other guy, so maybe not worth burning a prospect on. Chasms. Again, this is another one I'm going to give to the other guy. Oh, this one's Builder's Guild anyway. Okay, so we've been all the way around. So this is the only one that we wouldn't be able to get rid of without the prospect. So let's prospect that one. Well, I say without the prospect. It's the only one that we are particularly worried about getting rid of because it's a bridge. As far as I can tell, you need the Builder's Guild to build a bridge. Which is a bit of a high ask. To build bridges, but... So yeah, definitely the place up here in the middle of nowhere, we're never going to do it. If we clear the thing here, this will be making a better territory for our subject. So let's cycle the turn. And we do have some boats in the ocean over here. Set to sea before we hand the territory back to Egypt, running into an Egypt fleet. Egypt fleet's probably going to win. We're not going to watch that fight. Well, granted, I said the Egypt fleet was going to win, and it did win. But we only lost one boat. So it was actually went a little bit better than I was expecting. Here we go. Arabia and Persia have accepted an agreement, which was the client state agreement. That's good to see. Saba and Persia have made an agreement, which was, again, the client state agreement. So I'm bringing all our subjects to war with Egypt. We have a new ruler, Manisarosos. So I probably pronounced that terribly wrong. This looks like it's cruel master sometimes. We're going to develop some infrastructure. We can pay for the resources. And of course, our former ruler needs the royal tomb. So we spent most of the treasury on that. We are going to get enough that I think for that decision I just made. Because of that decision we just made, we did spend, or we will get enough to pay for that decision. So apparently we completed our goal here. From Persia to Sardis, the royal road is well on its way and only a few segments are still missing before it's deemed complete. If we may have to pave stones, that would be better. Still, the king has ordered the construction of 3 Champar royal way stations to allow resting for the messengers. In addition, we gain 150 legacy. That's good. That completed, apparently. You're in the army now, so let's get the money back from this. Because our treasury is a little empty. Hellenic interlopers. The Hellenes, and first and foremost, Athens and Sparta are meddling more and more on internal affairs, brewing trouble in some of our regions on the flimsy pretext that their ancestors founded trade colonies there, and the king won't endure that for long. That is certain. Our council will warn you as soon as the king has decided what the best course for Persia. Okay. So one of the things we in theory just got, we'll see if I can find them. I think they're commerce buildings. Although I think they'd be where we built paved roads. They've been built somewhere. That was one of the regional roads we just finished. So in theory, that event, here's one of them, gives us 3 of these buildings. So, Chapar Kane, fast communication. So these are event spawn buildings. Fast communication between the main cities enabled the empire control local nobles more tightly. So 22 money, because we've got cattle, wine, costing us a little bit of food. It needs horses, which isn't a problem. From Persepolis to Sardis, fast communication of the Empire leads to greater tight control. So decadence reduction by 2, I think, each. And we got another adopt local administration, which is good. So this is the new guy. Very good administrator. Very good. Patrician. I generally don't rely on exports to keep the treasury positive, so that's fine. Poor military. Annoying. Means we need 15% more military buildings to maintain the same military expertise ratio, which is not very great. Experience for level up is usually not something I worry too much about, so. Okay, we are at war with Egypt. So you march there. There's no fort there, so it'll be a quick smash through those areas. And I suppose you're going to march up for the same thing. And then I think we're going to run you down the coast, kind of, like so. The heavy cavalry squadron here should be hard for the enemy to defeat and can basically run amok in southern Egypt pretty easily. You'll be at the coast next turn. I might have you detour to come down and take these 2. Okay, and I think that's the troop orders. We're gonna leave this guy pretty much in the north. He's got 114 combat power, so we can probably, as long as he stays in the mountains, we'll have enough combat power to deal with negative province modifiers. Like you. 50. Okay, so let's go park him on the snow leopards, for example, to deal with the snow leopard problem. We're going to save up for a couple turns, and then we're going to probably try to build another army. Bit of a shame that we had our treasury sort of looted by event there. Otherwise, it'd be a little bit more forward with spending money. So this is the border region, but this is the border region next to a client state, so we don't need to pick up the guard towers. Down where the guard tower is. It's actually going to be a bad place for a slave market. I'll pick a slave market up there. Bank's not a problem. Nothing being built here. So we'll swap these guys back into food. As you can see, it's dropping the growth from 14 turns to 5. So if we got nothing to build, we should definitely move the food. At least as so much as does not hinder our... or risk losing any of our buildings. We're up in the mountains here, so Smokehouse is probably the better food building we're gonna get. This is actually the plains. This is the one plain in this province area. Bandits are already being dealt with the armor, although we wouldn't necessarily be opposed to more military expertise buildings, especially in this province. I think we'll grab that city walls given that circumstance. Yeah. That'll finish the turn without any more infrastructure being assigned. That one is being worked on. You are plains, so you in theory can actually hit the paved road. Yeah, you can definitely hit the paved road. We're gonna hit the school, because school is nice. Although I am tempted to try to grab another infrastructure building there. Ooh, 20 food orchard. 20 food orchard. Here we go. All the buildings done in turn. Nothing to build here. Over to food. And that shouldn't be too bad. Although, this area is more productive making infrastructure than food. Need a little bit more than that on infrastructure. Can't quite swap everyone. Not a bad plan to actually build something like a shepherd house here. Would get us up to tier 2 food buildings. And this is an area that's all mountains. So everywhere is bad to farm up here. So yeah, we'll take the shepherd's house. Builders killed. This is the place with frequent earthquakes, so there's actually a place where we've been fishing for the builders killed, so that's really good. And we were able to get rid of the numerous cliffs, so that's good. Crafting district. Ooh, paved or regional road. I was about to say paved roads. No, we're up in the mountains. No paved road there. 2 open slots. This is the place we probably want to be working towards paved road. So caravan house is not bad with that being the goal. Probably more infrastructure than we need. Yeah. Arguably don't need any infrastructure. because there's already a stockpile. Yep, that's about right. Open building slot. Grab the training ground. Which will actually leave the spot open so we can grab something else afterwards. Okay. Get that back with growth. Yeah. Though for a fabricator isn't the worst way to make money. Weaver shop, warehouse. This is a place I can get paved roads, so probably building a weaver shop's not a bad idea. Apparently we're getting bonuses from the wall. Well, don't need that badly. Probably go quant. Yeah, let's go quant. And then obviously we'll need some infrastructure to get quant done in some reasonable time. And still not going to be done in a turn, though it's pretty guaranteed at this point to be one turn next turn. Yeah, let's build up the regional, because then we get it turned into a paved here later. Training ground. Could do better with the orchard here. I'm going to do the builder's hole. Clear water. And yeah, we could use as much extraction as we can. One open slot here. Land expansion. Always like the land expansion. Don't need much more infrastructure here to get the land expansion done in a turn. That'll be more than enough. Lots of options. Shipyard's tempting. We can definitely pass on the shipyard. Smokehouse. I think I'm gonna go smokehouse here. That's because of more health, more food, which will help with growth. Help with getting us the next building slot, basically. So this is where we had the irrigation canal finished. Yay, papyrus. We've already got our oil we can import from ourselves locally here. Don't need the slave market, don't need the mercenary recruitment center. Probably do the wheel maker. One open building slot. Tempting, although the main bonus here is the equipment stockpile, which probably go for the health. Basilica. We are able to import frankincense here, which is something we do want to move around. We're actually be importing it from you, from Edom. Yeah, let's get the Basilica here to bring the frankincense in. As long as we're not assuming we're going to invade Edom. Although, it's probably fine because Edom's so shallow, even if we do invade Edom later. I'm not too worried about losing it for a turn or two. That paved road will be nice when it's done. I think everywhere we got... And granted, it was only 3 places. Now that I'm thinking about it again, I can't find it, can I? Everywhere we got this, we got a free paved road. I think we needed the regional road in so many number of places, and then upgrade 3 of those regional roads to this. Also making the regional road paved if it wasn't paved already. Okay, let's figure out where I was again. That was the paved road. Plenty of, or not enough food there to do any more on infrastructure. We got lots of building slots here. 6 building slots. We're never going to use one of them. We're going to do the large warehouse. To increase the rate we construct, because we need more construction. Yeah. Also a bit of a shame that we spent all our money, because at some point we want to diplomatically annex Judea, and they're expensive. That's why I was saving so much money. I don't need the port that badly. Don't need the armor that badly here either. We'll just do a reroll. Oh, now if I'm doing a reroll, I don't need that much infrastructure. $72. Keep it just a little bit positive, so 66. There we go. Okay, then we're on to the loose ones, which aren't idle. So let's go ahead and cycle the turn. Our campaign into Egypt will begin, and I think we should see whether or not these guys accept. If these guys accept, and I'll secure the northern border. Although we'll probably still leave the mountain up there. And they accepted. Did I miss a territory? I missed one. I'm gonna have to give them another one in a bit. So here's the first of the 2 possible battles. Now, of course, our main Persian army is going to have no difficulty overrunning small garrisons like this. 9v2 after the arrow swarm they've received. They are experienced, but they are exhausted from the incoming arrows. And our strong, experienced troops go in with a minimum roll of 5. And that means even troops with evading are having a very bad day. Yeah. First fight, second fight. Second fight's a little bit bigger than the first. Completely exhausting the entire enemy front line. 9v1, min roll of 3 versus 5. This is with veteran urban militia, which, yeah. That's why you want properly built armies. Make garrisons short work. Of course, somehow the Egyptians got around behind us, 20 units behind us. I don't think the garrison's going to hold up to that. Yeah, no, I don't think the Egyptians are. Our garrison's just going to have about as bad day as theirs did. Although, ours actually managed to inflict some damage. It was trivial damage, and the Egyptians will recover from it quickly, but ours were able to do some damage where theirs were not. Did we turn the cavalry around? Or do we turn the army around? That's the question here. And yes, we signed that trade deal. Persian Wars. The king has had enough of these Hellenes. Declare war on them, either Athens, carrying Atticus, or Sparta, or both at the same time, so we understand the meddling with the dynasty is oil in error. We need to declare war in 30 turns to appease the king. 1 war, or please him. 2 war declarations at once. Okay. We'll probably do 2 at once when the time comes. So diplomacy-wise, I wanted to give you everything, and I screwed up and only gave you all but 1. So seat of region, you can have that region. It's only 5 bargaining points this time, so we're just gonna propose it. They won't say no to one free territory. These guys down here are stable. What's your opinion? Distant, actually going down. Okay, so you don't have the movement speed to get back to there. You would, although it'll depend upon where they move. We'll send the cavalry after them. This is a little bit of a potentially tough ask for the cavalry, because it was mainly meant to go running through the undefended hordes. Although this is a ragtag motley band here, the cavalry may not struggle too bad. And then the Persian army, I think it will continue into the delta. we'll immediately have to order an assault in the marsh. That's the only territory that's marsh, and that's actually the only territory we really don't want to fight the main Egyptian army in with our professional army. You guys are not good in the marshes. Or we're being given told about all the territories gave to our subject, which is fine. Okay, this is probably a good place to put a part break in. So if you are watching on YouTube, there should probably be a part up tomorrow, because if everything goes according to plan, we'll upload 4 parts tonight. I think the current plan right now, again, there was a delay with getting stuff uploaded due to losing the modem for a couple days. I think about a week, actually. So we're planning on recording 4 parts tonight. I'm planning on running a 3-game 4-part cycle for a while. I do have an upcoming family vacation, so I want to record ahead a little bit for that. And at the moment, we're recording behind, so I gotta catch up a little bit. So we're gonna run 3 games for the foreseeable future. So if you're watching this on YouTube, there should be a part up tomorrow. There should be a part up tomorrow, the day after tomorrow, and there should be a part up the day after tomorrow of this game. So we're gonna try to record 4 parts tonight. At the current rate of playing, we're maybe playing a little bit slow. If we end up at peace, we might start cycling through a lot of turns a lot faster. Egypt's really the only major enemy, although we might start something in Athens and Sparta. If you're watching on Twitch, feel free to hang around. I am going to take a short break to sip a little bit of tea and stretch the legs just a little bit. OBS apparently isn't notifying me of when the ads are coming up, so if you're buried in an ad and you want me to take a short break when the ads play, feel free to let me know. I did try to, in theory, set the ad set up to space them out as large as possible, although that makes the ads a little bit longer. They do come up. And yeah, if you're watching on YouTube, I hope you've been enjoying. If you want to see more, feel free to either leave a comment or subscribe. There's a decent possibility I'll end up playing this game a little bit more, even after we finish this run. Although we'll probably play the main scenario instead of play this scenario again. So until the next part, wish you all the best of luck and a good time. Catch you all in the next part, and bye for now.